an interview on Live Impact News. We are joined by Dr. Kerry Cook. Dr. Cook is a professor at the University of Texas at Austin. She studies the effects of climate change and the atmosphere. We're going to talk about climate change here during this interview, but first I want to introduce myself, Dr. Cook. My name is Connor. We've only communicated digitally here, so it's nice to actually meet you live on the air here. How are you today? Thanks for taking some time.
I'm good. Thanks for having me, and it's good to see you live as well.
Well, thank you for being with us. I'm going to check in with my producer very briefly here. Are we okay on audio, Sarah? Okay, very good. Dr. Cook, let's start here. When it comes to climate change, there are a number of different impacts that we see as a result of this overall phenomenon. I'm wondering if we can talk specifically about rain. How is rain being impacted by climate change in terms of how much rain we may be receiving and where that rain is falling?
Well, rainfall is being impacted primarily in terms of the intensity of rainfall, these stronger downpours that we've been seeing. We understand this from a basic scientific level, and we see it happening pretty much all over the country, that we are getting more and heavier rain downfall. Now, this doesn't mean we're getting more overall rain, but just a higher fraction of it is being delivered in terms of heavy rain.
And how does this happen? Why is it that a warming atmosphere leads to these types of impacts?
It starts with actually the warming surface. The increasing level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere traps heat down near the surface, warms the surface, drives stronger evaporation, loading more water vapor into the atmosphere. When water vapor condenses into droplets to form rain, it releases heat, and this is one of the main fuels for the intense storm. And so more rainfall develops because there's more water vapor, more condensation, and more heat to fuel the storm.
Okay, very good. So we sort of know the cause, we know the effect. I want to talk about the impact when it comes to us here experiencing that rain and the communities where this is primarily having an effect. What will we be seeing that actually impacts how we live our day-to-day lives? And I would maybe even ask, how urgent is this issue in terms of when we could see this really start to change the complexion of different communities?
Well, I'll start with the last. The urgency is already upon us in some regions. I can draw an example from Central Texas from last summer, our famous July 4th storms, infamous July 4th storms that caused so much death and destruction. It's already upon us in many communities. The understanding of these storms and our ability to predict these storms is good. We need to work on our resiliency, and we need to work on our communication so that when your regional weather service sees the possibility and then the reality of these storms, we need to be able to communicate that into the community quickly and have everybody have escape plans in place.
And then you have those escape plans that hopefully will be in place and be constantly thought about, resources in order to help areas where this could be a problem. Of course, you talk about that July 4th storm in Texas. We covered that extensively here as well, a tragic event. I'm wondering, beyond preparing for the impacts of the storm as it falls, how could these types of storms affect ecosystems, which then on their own start to have trickle-down effects on communities? Is this something that is going to rapidly impact farming? Is it going to rapidly impact sea levels? Are those all things we need to look out for here with this sort of cause and effect from climate change?
There are definitely effects on ecosystems and agriculture, a lot through two aspects of it. One is just erosion. when heavy rainfall comes, it washes away the fertile soil at the surface and does damage. It'll take trees down by weakening the root support, that kind of thing. And that's very important to be concerned about. These are very present and real hazards to ecosystems and people and our agriculture.
Oh, Dr. Cook, climate change is such a big, broad problem that sometimes it can feel hard to get your arms around, and to have the ability to talk to you about the specific impacts that come from a major issue like this is, I think, incredibly helpful and insightful. We really appreciate you taking a little bit of time to spend with us here today, and hopefully we can catch up down the line as we continue to explore and cover this topic. So thanks for taking a little time, and we hope to see you next time.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for your coverage of this. It's so important and potentially life-saving.
Absolutely. And that's Dr. Kerry Cook, a professor again at the University of Texas, Austin, and here with us to give us a little bit more insight, understanding, context, and sort of specific examples of how climate change is actually impacting communities, impacting people even right now in everyday life. She mentioned that specific example last summer, July 4th, a situation that we covered quite a bit here on Live Impact News. So a great opportunity for us to talk to Dr. Kerry Cook.